Hello dear students, I welcome you all to Elite Studies. I am LK Nayak. Today I am going to teach you about noun. In my previous class, I have told you that to speak English, because this video is about spoken English, isn't it? So to speak English, the only key, as I've told you earlier, is to speak English. There is no shortcut method, isn't it? If you try, you can learn within 3 to 6 months, and it may so happen that even after 30 years also you cannot speak English. It is such a language. Okay, students? And let me tell you once again, in every video I will tell you one thing, that you have to speak English. No grammar and no book and no teacher can teach you spoken English, my dear students. No book, no teacher. It is only you. It is only and only you who can make yourself how to speak English. Okay, students? So now let us start this one. Here, to speak fluently, these things are not at all required. To speak fluent English, these things are not at all required. But if you want to speak confidently, you should have confidence before speaking. If you lack confidence, then you can never speak. It is very difficult. Once you gather confidence, once you have the confidence within you that yes, I can speak fluently and not that, and that also correctly. So to gain confidence, you should know a little bit of basic grammar. For that basic grammar, only this one. So what you see is this tree of a noun. This is very important. You will not get such type of arrangement in any book. Okay, so it is for clarity only I have told you. So among this, whatever you see, we will only focus on those areas where it is relevant or required to speak English. Okay. First of all, what is a noun? I have already told you. Noun is the name of a person, place, thing, or an idea or feeling. Clear? You can refer to my previous video. Now, you see, first of all, we should know kinds of noun. There are how many kinds of noun? There are two broad classifications. One is this way, proper noun, common noun, collective noun, material noun, and abstract noun. And another way is a countable noun and uncountable noun. Dear students, this one is very important from on spoken English point of view. These two. Okay, that will come later on. Here, masculine, feminine, common and neuter, not required from the spoken English point of view, but we'll have a basic idea about this. This is important. This is important from spoken English point of view, singular number and a plural number, and case, nominative, objective and possessive. Now, let us go very fast. What is a proper noun? What is a common noun? What is a collective noun? What is a material noun? What is an abstract noun? You see, there are many books, and in Google also, in YouTube also, there are many sites, or you can see there are many where you can get these things. We will only touch the basics. Proper noun. Proper noun means what? The name of a particular person. If I write name of a particular person, Ram, Shyam, this is the name of a particular person. Okay, this will come under proper noun. Now again, name of the countries, you may note it down. You may note it down. Name of a person. Okay, Ram, Shyam, John. Similarly, name of the countries, India, America. So these are all Australia, these are all common nouns. Names of, now very important, when you write January, J should be capital, January, February, March, or you can write day, Tuesday, Monday, Monday. These are all proper nouns. Name of the day, name of the month, name of rivers, mountains such as Ganges, Brahmaputra, Nile. Mountains, this is Everest, Kanchenjunga, the Alps. So here these are all, you can say rivers, Ganges, Brahmaputra. So these are the names of the rivers, mount, you can say Everest. These are all what are called as a proper noun. A proper noun. Here, you can get more examples in some books, but here, what is the? There are not two things you should remember in case of proper nouns. Only two things. Only two things, and not required for spoken English. One thing, you should never use the before a proper noun. Very important. While spoken English, dear student, spoken English is very informal, not formal, okay? It is very informal. Small mistakes will never be noticed, but you should not make a blunder. You should never say, the Ram is flying a kite. The Ram is flying a kite. No, this is a blunder. No. Even if you say, the Ram is flying a kite, people will understand that you are a novice. You don't know English. Okay, students? You will be simply told that you don't know English. Such important is this. You should never write, the Ram is flying a kite. You should write Ram before the name of any person. You should never. I love the India. I love the India. No. This, the, no. Because it is a proper noun. You should never use the. I love India is correct. I love India. He visited the Switzerland. He visited the Switzerland. No the. Because it's a proper noun. You should never use the. My brother bought this watch from the Amazon. No. Only Amazon, because Amazon is a brand name, is a company name. Sony, Samsung, any Godrej, Whirlpool, whatever, these are brand names. You should not use the here like this. So here is just only one thing you should understand while spoken English, you should not use the. And the next thing, though it is not required in case of spoken English, but it is worth to know, that is each and every, there is without any exception, each and every pronoun, a proper noun, starts with a capital letter. Dear students, whenever you go through, I will tell you one more tip to speak English. You take a very good, any book, not only good, any book you like, where you get interest. Best is the story books. Panchatantra, Hitopadesha, Akbar Birbals, whatever story you know, small stories, 1 page, 2 page, small stories with good pictures. Okay, now there you go through those stories and read it loudly. Your tongue should roll. You have to, you should not whisper or you should not read anything silently. If you want to speak English, you have to read it loudly. Then only the tongue will roll, as I've already told you in the earlier classes. And in every class, I will remind you this thing. I will remind you, dear students, you have to speak it loudly. And whenever you see anything is written in capital, in between, because every sentence starts with a capital, that is immaterial. But whenever anything comes, you see, whenever it is Ram, wherever it comes, it will be capital. Wherever January, you should never write January as small j. Though it is not relevant while speaking, but you should know this thing. It is worth to know that each and every proper noun without any exception starts with a capital letter. Okay, students, this much is enough to know about the proper noun. Now, let us come to, you should never use the before a or a. an, the is not allowed in the case of a proper noun. Now, let us come to the common noun. What is a common noun? Common noun is very easy. Common noun is very easy. Whatever you see a common noun, you see in your room, suppose you are there, your chair, table, boy, girl, father, mother. One thing, father, your father's name is proper noun. Your mother's name is proper noun. Your servant's name is proper noun. Suppose you have a Samsung mobile. Samsung is a proper noun because this is a brand name. But if you say the mobile is a common noun. Bird, chair, table, desk, refrigerator, these are all common nouns. So they are not specific. It is in general. Suppose if you say bird, any bird, it may be any bird. Okay, a boy, it may be any boy. Girl, any girl. Book, any book. So these are all common nouns. Okay. If you go to mountain, any mountain. But if you say Alps, then it is a proper noun. If you say Kanchenjunga, it is a proper noun. If you say Everest, it is a proper noun. But if you say mountain, it is common to all. So the name says it is common. It is common to all. It is a common noun. Okay, if a fan, a table, a chair, a pen. But if you say Parker pen, the Parker then becomes a brand name and there is a particular name of the brand. So therefore there is a proper noun. But if you say pen, it is a common noun. That's it. Collective noun. Collective noun is what? A group. It cannot be found by one person or one thing or one place. It is a group. Suppose crowd. If you say crowd, army, cattle, okay, team, such type of words, okay, such type audience. One people cannot form an audience. One people cannot form a crowd. You see cattle. If you say single cow, a single cow is grazing in the field. You will not see the cattle is grazing in the field. You will say a cow is grazing in the field. Or a cow has entered in my garden. But if a cattle, the cattle means it should be more than one. A collective noun means it is a collection of nouns. So it should be more than one. Clear? Now, so army, cattle, team, there are many things. There are some 200 nouns which are collective. You can go through any book, okay, if you want to go deeply. But for spoken English, it is not required. But you should have an idea of collective noun. Crowd, army, cattle, team, audience. You can say couple. You can say dozen. Because dozen is a collection of 12 things makes a dozen. You can say gross. So these are all what? These are all what? A collective noun. Okay. So from spoken English point of view, it is not so important. Clear? Now material noun. Again, it is very easy to understand. Material, as the name says, it is material. Material, anything which we get from the nature, which you cannot make. Gold, silver, wood, leather, rubber. Okay, which were available from, which you have to get from nature. You cannot get air. Air is a material noun. Water, material noun. Leather, material noun. Honey, material noun. Okay. So such things are called material noun. You should understand difference between a chair and wood. Chair is an object. That is not a material noun. It is a common noun. But wood, it is made up of wood. Wood is a material noun. The chair is an object. Now if you say iron, iron is a material noun. Because it is made up of iron. But chair is not a material noun. It is a common noun. Okay, students, that's enough for a material noun. Any material, you can say any material which we get, but you can say brick. Brick is also a material because it is a material used to make buildings. Cement is again a material. Okay, material, raw materials. Simple. Iron, brass, wood, leather, cotton, wool. Okay, whatever you can think of. Leather, paper. So these are all material noun. Now, the most important here is the abstract noun. What is abstract noun? Dear students, abstract nouns are those nouns which you can only feel in idea. Okay, you cannot touch. You have 5 senses. To see, to hear, to taste, to touch and to smell. These 5 senses of touch or 5 sense organs, that will not work here. Abstract noun you have to only feel. Suppose if I write a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. If I say a little knowledge is a dangerous thing, what is this knowledge? A little knowledge. Knowledge is what you can only feel. You know what is knowledge, but you cannot touch it, you cannot smell it, you cannot taste it, isn't it? You cannot hear it. So knowledge, but you know. A little knowledge is a dangerous thing. So knowledge is a noun which will come under abstract noun. Akbar was known, though he was illiterate, but he was known for his wisdom. Wisdom. Akbar, wisdom. The wisdom is again a noun. Okay, you think. Beauty. Beauty is a noun. Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So what is beauty? Everyone praises beauty. Beauty is what? It is a noun which you can feel. So such type of nouns are called abstract nouns. Kindness. Honesty is the best policy. Honesty is the best policy. Honesty. What is that? That is a noun, but it is the abstract noun. So this is not a concrete noun. Concrete noun means what? Which you can touch. Tangible nouns. Tangible nouns which you can. Tangible nouns means what? That is concrete nouns means what? You can touch. You can feel. Isn't it? Air. Air you cannot see. You cannot smell. But you can feel. So it is not a abstract noun. It is coming under material noun. So abstract noun you can say knowledge. Knowledge. Okay. Kindness. Kindness. Okay. Wisdom. Anger. Anger. Okay, I can't tolerate your anger. I can't tolerate your anger. Anger is what? Something you can understand. What is anger? You can say, you can understand what you can feel. Angry man, no. Angry man, angry is an adjective. But anger. Beautiful adjective. But what is beauty? Beautiful is adjective. That I will tell you later. But beauty is a noun. Okay, wise man. Wise is actually an adjective. But wisdom is noun. Wise king. Akbar was a wise king. So wise was actually adjective, but he was known for his wisdom. Wisdom is again what? A abstract noun. Go through some books. So again I will tell you, from spoken English point of view, this is not so important. But to build up your confidence, you should have some idea about the abstract noun. Okay, there are many things you can say. Happiness. Happiness. Okay. Happiness. This again, kindness, happiness. Okay, these are what? One type of you can say the beauty. Beauty. Honesty. 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 Honest. He's an honest man. There is an adjective. But honesty is the best policy. People love him because of his honesty. People love him because of his honesty. Honesty is again an abstract noun. Okay. Having said this, let us go to gender. Again, you see here, in English, here also, you should know a little bit. Masculine means it is very easy. Male, it represents what? A sex. Male. Male means masculine. Feminine means a female. Common means neither male nor female. And neuter means lifeless. Suppose neuter means lifeless objects. Now example of masculine, man. I will tell you a few examples only. Man. Man is masculine gender. Noun, gender. Gender shows the sex. Gender shows the female sex or male sex, like that way. Man is masculine. Woman is a feminine. Now if you say king, king is masculine. Queen is feminine. Okay. Lion is masculine. Lioness. Lioness. Lioness is feminine. Okay. Dog. Dog. And it is beach. So this is what called masculine and feminine. It is very easy. Okay. It is very easy. You can go through any book. Okay. So this is masculine and this is feminine. Now what is common? Yes. Here common means what? It may be either masculine or feminine. If I say doctor, he may be lady doctor, he may be a gents doctor, male doctor. So therefore doctor is a common gender. Baby, he may be a he baby, he may be a she may be a, baby may be he, baby may be she, he baby, she baby. So baby is again, there are many which can be told as a common. One, you say doctor, you say doctor. Two, you say baby. You see 3, teacher. You say student. You say servant. Isn't it? So you see, doctor, maybe he, maybe she, maybe he, maybe she, teacher, maybe he teacher, maybe he, it may be sir, it may be madam, student, girl student or a boy student, servant, maybe he servant, maid servant or man servant. Okay. So all these will come under what? Common gender. I am giving a few examples only to make you understand what is a common gender. Clear? So now again the neuter gender. Neuter gender again easy. Neuter gender, lifeless. All lifeless things will be called as neuter gender. Book, table, pen, fan, TV, fridge, okay, mountain, river. All these things are neuter gender. Okay, neither a female or no, because they are lifeless. Tree, plant, they are again coming under neuter. Don't say that tree doesn't have any feminine. Nobody will ask you, but is it a male or female? Tree is not like that. So tree, plants, these are all coming under neuter. Finish. Now coming to noun, gender, number. Number is again singular and plural. Yes, this is important from spoken English point of view. Why? Because now if I write boy, a boy is playing in the ground. Now here I have to write boys are, or you can write some boys are playing in the ground. Here you see, here boy was a singular noun, whereas boys are a plural noun. When this, now you see this is the main one, the verb. You see how the verb changed from is to are, means the verb agrees with the number, noun number, means a singular verb, a singular noun will always take. It is very, very important. If you do mistake here while speaking, again you will be called a novice. Among all this what I told you, you should not use the before proper noun, and in this case if the noun is singular, it should take a singular verb. If the noun is a plural, it must take a plural verb. So this means the verb should agree with the noun's number. Singular should take a singular and the plural should take plural. So what are singular? Is singular, am is a singular, are plural. Okay, does is singular, do is a plural. Was is singular, where is a plural. Again, I will tell you, any verb if you write a play, very, very important, dear students, play. If you write s, if you add s to it, it becomes singular. If you avoid, play is plural. You see, one more very, very important, the tip. In case of a noun, if you add s, I will repeat, in case of a noun, if you add s, it becomes a plural. Okay, but it is just the reverse in case of verb. If you add s to a verb, it becomes a singular. You please note this thing, dear students. Note these things. You will never get this thing. You will get this thing in a book, but you have to search throughout the whole book. In these classes, I will give you everything collected, so that at once you can get it. Here, I will again repeat. If you take a noun and if you add s, then it becomes plural. But in a verb, if you add s, it becomes singular. So place is singular, play is a plural. Okay, writes. If you write, say write, write is singular, writes is plural. Swim is plural, swims is singular. As soon as you add s to a verb, it becomes singular. But when you add s to a noun, it becomes a plural. Okay, so with this you can understand was is singular, where is plural. So this thing will again come detail when I will teach you verb in details. So you can understand the importance of singular and plural. Here you should be very, very careful while using the verb. Okay, now Now again I will tell you about nominative, objective and possessive. Now let us take an example. Now Ram is flying a kite. Okay. Now here I can write same X also. A kite is being flown by Ram. Okay. Now this is Ram's kite. You see. Now from here you can understand this nominative, objective, possessive. But let me tell you, from spoken English point of view, it is not so important. And when I will teach you at this juncture, but when I will teach you active and passive voice, you will come to know all these things. Nominative case means, or you can say subjective case, objective case, possessive case. Nominative case, when this Ram, noun, it is in the object. Sorry. It is subject. And here it is the object. You see, this is the subject. Ram is flying a kite. But here, the importance is on Ram. What Ram is doing. But here in this word, the importance is not Ram. The importance is on the kite. Because you have to make that one as the subject whom you want to lay your importance. You are talking about kite. Here the importance on the kite. We are not interested who is flying that. We are interested in the kite. Oh, what a good kite. Whose kite is this? Okay, so we are interested in the kite. So here kite is the subject. It becomes the object. Now you see, here Ram is the subject and here Ram is the object. Again you can see, here kite is the object, here kite is the subject. There is no change. This, when any noun is used as a subject, that is called the nominative case. When any noun is used as the object, it is called the objective case. Now what about the third? This is Ram's kite. It is a possession. It is possessed. This kite is possessed by Ram. Now here there is a change. Ram's kite. You cannot say this is Ram kite. You cannot just incorrect English. If you say English like this is Ram kite. No, this is Ram's kite. You cannot say this is Ram kite. Again the blunder. So while spoken English, this is very important. Okay. This is King's garden. This is his pencil. These are okay. So these are all, we will come to later on all these things. But here the important thing was, as I have told you, singular and plural. Here also I have it clear. Now we will come to countable and uncountable noun. This is of extreme importance. This is of extreme importance that we will go through in the next class. Countable and uncountable. I will give you a brief. Countable nouns are those nouns which we can count. Boys, chairs, tables, fans, pencils, pen, okay, friend, school, where you can count as 1, 2, number of students in a class. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that way. And uncountable nouns are those nouns which we cannot count. Okay, such as example, milk you cannot count, water you cannot count, air you cannot count, hair you cannot count, rain you cannot count. There are many nouns which you can, rice you cannot count, tea, coffee, you cannot count these things. So how to deal with the countable and uncountable, it is very, very, very important. Because here from here only we will be able to use where to use much, where to use many. Okay, where to use few and where to use little. Okay, students. How to use much and many, few, little. There are many things, more and less. So all these things we will come to know when we will read this countable and uncountable noun in details. That will be in the next class. Very, very important. So I will just summarize. From spoken English point of view, this is of very, very importance. Okay. You cannot say I have many sugars in my pot. You can never say my many sugars. No. That I will see in the next class. I have to say I have much sugar. Why? That we will study in the next lesson. So this is important from the spoken English point of view that we will study in the next class, and this is also very important from spoken English point of view, because a singular noun will take a singular verb, a plural noun will take a plural verb. Okay? And remaining here, you should remember one thing: you should never use the before a proper noun, and a proper noun always starts with a capital letter. These are some tips and tricks. Okay, dear students, means you can say some idea to speak confidently, not to speak fluently. These are not going to help you how to speak English, my dear students. Never. These are only going to help you how to speak confidently. Means when you speak, you should not speak anything blunder. Okay, you should not say the Ram is flying a kite. Oh my God, this is totally crazy. Okay, rubbish. You can say not crazy. It is totally rubbish. Okay, I love the India. I visited the Switzerland. These are completely rubbish. So such things you please note it down. So in this way, in such short things I will cover, okay? And I give you the guarantee, if you listen to what I say, no doubt you will be able to speak English not even 3 months, but at least I give you the assurance that at least in 1 year you will be able to. Within 1 year. But you have to practice. But if you don't practice, till the end of life, you will never learn English. Till the end of life. So with this, I will end my class. I will see you on the next Sunday with countable and uncountable. How to use all these things and speaking correctly. Thank you. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Thank you again.